This escalated quickly. Got the hood prepped and the front fenders. It's feathering out good. It's using some chips or flaking paint, but it's really easy to see where I've sanded and not sanded because the orange peel is so bad that it's pretty obvious where I didn't sand. So I got a little bit of body work to do. This is the main dent there. There's a little bit of rust. It's not bad right here, but I think I can just, so that shouldn't be too bad. There's one little dent over here, right there and there. But other than that, this car is super straight. That's why I figured, well, let's just scuff it and shoot it. Well, I'm on my second day of sanding. Not really the 2 full days, but haven't done the doors, but got the front clip done. Got the rear clip, trunk, rear quarter panels sanded. This was a bugger. It didn't want to feather, it just kept flaking off, so finally got it. Only big damage is down here. Somebody put a fiberglass patch in there, but I can just cut this out. A lot of dust, but I don't know, it's probably 10 hours of sanding, so it's not actually that bad. But that's where I'm at. Gotta go back to work tomorrow. Over the years, there's a few tools, like a floor jack and jack stands, that once I buy them, I was like 16, it's like, man, that was so useful, how did I ever get by? This is another one of those tools. Simple, elegant, cheap. But I've fought with these stupid clips for years, and you just pop it in there and pull the handle off. Pushes that little horseshoe clip off. My whole life I've been using picks and screwdrivers. I knew they existed, I don't know. But getting the door handles off, taking the door panels off, and then the outside door handle so I can sand and won't have edges around the door handles. So the only real rust on this car was right on this lip on the rear driver's side wheel well, and down here there was a fiberglass patch. So I'm gonna cut that out, weld in patch. This one I cut out all the nasty stuff, but it's right on a compound curve, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I got it cleaned up pretty good on the inner fender. I'm gonna prime this with some rust converter and then put some fiberglass reinforced filler on there. So that's what that looks like after it's turned black. So that'll slow the rust from coming back. Maybe not forever, but for a while. Well, I found this inside the lower quarter panel. I mean, I get it. They're trying to patch the backside here, keep the water from coming in, but it just turned into a sponge. So I'm gonna build a patch for this, and then I'll patch it from the outside, weld something over this, and prime it also, because you can't put bare metal inside a trunk and then expect it not to rust. So anyway, that's weight reduction. It's gonna be faster. Alrighty, I got it all knocked down. 220. Well, I still got to do this little section here. But everything else is knocked down. Gotta clean it off, wipe it down, primer it in a couple of these really bare metal spots. Maybe block that back up. And yeah, we're getting closer to paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld in a little patch panel and then put filler on it. So I got my piece cut here. This is the back side. I've got it zinc weld through primer on there, and then I weld it on and then kind of beat it around the edge to form it. So that'll be better than putting a bunch of fiberglass in here. I might put a little bit, but I was worried about eventually this edge is gonna break. So I don't have a lot of room here to put a bunch of filler to build up the surface. So I think this would be better. Got my patch roughed in here. So what I did was I cut that so that I was just bending one piece at a time instead of trying to do all of it, because it's kind of a compound curve. So, and then I can trim off the excess. I'll probably weld these up, trim off the excess, and then fold it up, because I had to widen my fender lip, or flatten my fender lip a little bit so my tires would fit. But yeah, I feel a lot better about that than using just fiberglass, because that would just, eventually that edge would break. So I'm gonna keep going. Well, here we go. It's not pretty, and you can see my edge here, but this is lower, and this is kind of on its swooping out. And so I'll be able to build this up with a little bit of filler and kind of shape it, but it's actually got an edge now, and it really kind of made this edge a lot more rigid. So way better than just throwing a bunch of fiberglass filler in it, which is what was in there before. So now onto this big old hole. All right, so I made this piece. Boop, like that. Match that profile. Buzz it in. It's a little bit of a complicated piece, but it will work good enough. That's all we're after. Well, I got some fiberglass on here now. I got that piece tacked in, and actually it turned out pretty good. I know it's ugly right now, but put a flange on it. I was able to weld it to some of this thicker inner fender stuff. And then I ended up putting like a reinforcement on the back side and tack welding that in, because this was super floppy, and really it needs a new quarter panel, at least from here. But you know, we got time for that. This will hold. All right, back at it, doing a little body work. Got that dent smoothed out. Actually got it on my first attempt at plastic filler. I did put fiberglass on it too before that, but got some spot priming done. Just the places where I had real big divots from sanding the rust out. But yeah, laid down real smooth. I got my DeVille this gun all cleaned up. I thought it was broken. It was just dirty. Imagine that. This will take a couple more applications. I'm kind of like building this edge up, but there's a concave curve there, and then this is flat. So, and this is looking pretty good too. We're making progress, a little bit at a time. Getting ready to prime these spots that I did a little body work on. So the masking begins. It's seemingly never ending, but this is gonna look a lot better once I get a little primer on it. test panel. My new color. And it will be challenging not to put tiger stripes in it. I don't know if this is a big enough tip for that paint, but been doing some sanding. Got all the bodywork spots blocked out. I mean, as good as I want to get it. Well, yeah, it's gonna work nice. So I'm gonna try out my sealer and paint on this piece. This is the filler piece between the bumper and the body, so we'll see how it turns out. So yeah, it's sprayed up pretty good. It might even dry a little bit duller. This is a couple hours after I sprayed it. So yeah, I think that's gonna look real good. Well, here it is. Good as I want to get it. Masked off, ready to spray. Even kind of cleared out the shop around the car so I don't trip on anything, and try to keep the dust to a minimum. I'll probably spray some water on the floor a little bit to keep the dust down. But hopefully I don't screw it up. There's a decent amount of work to this point, but you know, I guess I could always redo it. I really don't want to do that. Well, here it is in all its glory. It's still a little shiny. Once it, I don't know, dries for a day, it'll matte up a little bit, knock the gloss down, or maybe they sent me the wrong paint. Either way, it'll work. I had the last living fly in Laramie, at least. I thought it was a wasp. It was a big giant housefly. It comes sputtering in like a cartoon airplane running out of gas. Beep, 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 beep. And I was like, no, 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 no. Sure enough, it landed right there in my paint. I was able to snatch it out, but I kept one of his legs. But yeah, that was a bummer, but oh well. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, these lines are so straight. That's why I had to paint it. Hood got a little streaky. I kind of fought my gun the whole time. Again, once it cures, that might even out a little bit. Same thing, just nice lines. Working on the wheels. This one's in pretty decent shape, but that's after a little polishing. So yeah, I mean, they could be better, but better than they were. Oh yeah, that looks pretty rad. Way better than they were. They could probably be shinier, but you know, I didn't have to spend too much time cleaning them up. They're in pretty good shape. So yeah, that looks boss. It's headliner day. Got Mark here to help me because he's done 3. I've done 0. So we gotta glue these sail panel pads into there and there. Gives us a little cushion for the headliner. So I've had this laying out for a couple weeks, so it's pretty much wrinkle free, but we'll figure that out as we go, right Mark?
You betcha.
All right, so we got the center set. We got our glue tacking up. This is kind of what it's starting to look like. Oh yeah, headliner. So we got the front edge glued up. Now working on the back. But see how those longitudinal puckers, those are good because we can stretch those out laterally. Those are fancy words. But it's coming together. Well, we got the headliner done. Turned out pretty good. It's nice and shiny. Here it is, first time in the sunshine. It's so much more gold than brown. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, I'm prepping the front windshield. I have to put the gasket on the glass, and then the trim slides in there. It's a big pain, but usually get a lot of masking tape to hold it on. I did get the back window in. My dad helped me put it in. I was not doing that by myself, but turned out pretty good, and you know, one less thing off the list. So we'll see how this goes. All right, this is step 1. Got the gasket on the window, taped in place. Now I gotta shove those in there. You kind of have to like get them in the channel and slide them over. So here we go. That was not fun, but I got it. This bottom one's harder because it's got a lot more curve to it. So once I got that one in, the other ones weren't horrible. So the corners go on last, but gotta put urethane, well, I gotta put the rope on the underside of that in the channel. And then urethane that window opening, and then set it in there. But I'm gonna need help, so gotta find somebody. Got my new Falcon letters in the barrel nut. Goes across there. So hopefully the remanufactured parts fit. Those turned out pretty good. Got the door handles on. Need a bushing for that one. And then I got the front ones on too. So yeah, they worked out real good. Trying to get this bumper to body seal installed. It's kind of annoying, but I'm using clamps. I gotta find the old staple holes. I got new staples, and according to well, what I could find online and the overspray that's on the old crusty seal, the smooth side goes up, rib side goes down. It kind of pinches on there like that. So we'll see how it goes. Got the gasket in. Can't see it anymore, but rear bumper mounted. I took the trunk lid off because I'm cleaning up this. I'm gonna clean that up there and put a new gasket in. I'm gonna paint it, try to keep the rust from coming back, and then I'll put the trunk lid back on. So my trunk channel turned out pretty good with the POR15. Now I'm just figuring out which way that goes in. Pretty sure it goes like that. It's gonna take a little glue, especially on the corners. But it'd be nice to have a good trunk seal. Got the new bumper on. Mark's in here gluing the carpets down. It's gonna look real nice. Well, Mark and I are about to take her up for her first spin after the paint job. New bumper. Got the seat in. Got some more cleaning to do, but it's cleaning up really nice. Carpet's in. Dome light works. Had to jump it, but other than that, pretty much fired right up. My floor mats are kind of gross, but carpet looks good.